You know, in just a handful of the nominees this year, children die in a house fire, they die of inevitable illnesses, or they get separated from their birth mother at age 5. What did the Academy have against children this year? It could be worse for kids, though. You could go from an Oscar-winning Danny Boyle-directed film to The Last Airbender. You know, aside from the common trait of making parents watch movies where terrible things happen to children, the nominees this year do share something else. A lot of these stories are very personal. Either the writer, director, or both have stories of triumph that they want to share with everybody. They're stories about finding yourself. Lion takes that finding yourself part slightly literally, as the real story begins when a grown man finally has to retrace his lifelong journey to find his birth mother from whom he was separated. Notice I subtly threw in the word finally. That is simply because of my expectations, and I will grant you that is not completely fair. However, I thought that this film primarily would be Saru, the central character's rocky journey home. Instead, it is only the latter half of the third act, arguably 10% of the actual film, where Saru goes on the journey. And when he does go on the journey, there are no real obstacles other than his own memory. In fact, he finds his birth mother fairly easily. Similar to my criticism of Fences, an internal struggle is fine, but cinematically, it's not the most exciting thing to watch. That's not to say there isn't secondary conflict, but most of it has to do with Saru's inner turmoil, how he alienates himself from his loved ones, especially his girlfriend Lucy, played by Rooney Mara. And there's a little bit about how his adopted brother suffers from mental illness and how that affects Saru's adopted family. A very little bit. The one thing I cannot besmirch about this film are the performances, especially Saru's adopted family. All three actors turn in absolutely authentic performances. You truly feel like they're a family and they love one another. There's a lot of talk surrounding Nicole Kidman's Best Supporting Actress nomination, and rightfully so. Her role as Sue Brearley, Saru's adopted mother, is one of the nicest, warmest women on screen that I've ever seen. And if Sue, the real-life Sue, is anything like Kidman's performance, she might be the nicest woman on earth. Other than my own mother and my wife, mother to my child. They both watch. But it was Sue's better half that I was actually excited about seeing on screen, simply because he is portrayed by David Wenham, an actor who has made a huge name for himself in huge fantasy films, like Lord of the Rings, 300, and Van Helsing. Having only seen Wenham in these over-the-top movies, or crappy movies like Van Helsing, I was actually really surprised at how well this guy can act. He and Kidman had a true partnership on screen. They felt like a loving marriage. And I think this man deserved a little praise as well. Not to mention there's a beach scene where the Brearleys actually take their new son on a little holiday. And the dude is still cut. However, out of all the actors on screen, the one that stole the show, stole the film, and stole your hearts had to be now 8-year-old Sonny Power, who played young Saru and actually beat out 2,000 other young actors for this role. It's really simple to see why he beat out 2,000 other boys, because he's adorable. He makes you want to adopt him. And at such a young age, this actor already shows tremendous range, from innocent child to an old soul who has to deal with so much so early in his life. Lion is a brilliant story. It is a touching reminder of what love and family can be, and I applaud the real-life Saru for sharing the story in the book and now this film. However, with the film, I just simply thought there would be more. In terms of my personal preference, I rank Lion 7th out of all the Best Picture nominees. But it does have a lot of Oscar staples, so it actually ranks about 4th in terms of likeliness to win. So if you've seen Lion, let me know what you thought in the comments section below. But until next time, school's out. Hey Real Students, I hope you enjoyed that review on one of the Best Picture nominated films this year. If you enjoyed that one, click the playlist so that you can see all 9 reviews I did on all 9 nominated films. As always, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Real School. You can also click that notification bell, that damn bell, so that you are aware of all of Real School's content. You won't miss out on any of the Best Picture nominated reviews. You won't miss out on any of the new content that's coming up throughout the year. You can also follow me on Twitter, and you want to do that because live on Oscar night, Sunday, February 26th, I will be live tweeting. So join me for what I like to call intellect, wit, and a lot of sarcasm. And of course, if you get anything out of Real School, you can always give a little back. Just click the link above me or below in the description, and you can become part of my Patreon team.